Wizards Postgame Live.
Last time we saw Chicago was for their home opener, and I'll tell you right now, the first half had us down 13 points to the visiting Chicago Bulls. But lo and behold, that third quarter that had the Wizards putting up 41 points turned into what? Pressure. A lot of pressure down the stretch. And Kyle Kuzma knocking down the big three to send us into victory lane with a final score of 100-97. Welcome to Wizards Postgame Live. Jason Smith along with a rather enthusiastic Wes Hall. Yes, I'm referring to myself in third person because, as I said, rolling out sticks, this might be my favorite win of the season. This was a gritty, grindy kind of game. You're down 13 at the half. All is not lost because that third quarter, those 41 points, this is one where they said, we are not losing tonight. What were your thoughts?
Man, that third quarter, both of us were on the edge of our seats. We were going out there. We were excited for the team. Monte Morris had 15 of his 17 points alone in that third quarter. You saw a change in the team. They were aggressive getting to the rim. They were going out there. We were scoring freely. They were moving the ball on offense. And Chicago just kind of looked like, wait, what's going on? We're up 13. How are we down now? But the whole team, Anthony Gill, Denny Avdic, monster night on the board.
Yes.
You've got Kuzma going out there. The 1-3 that he makes clutches the game. Clutch Kuz comes in when it counts. And you just had output from everybody down the roster. Doesn't matter you don't have the Twin Towers out there and Gafford and Porzingis. These guys were fighting for each other. They were going out there with 50-50 opportunities to get on the floor, put their bodies on the line. You saw multiple efforts on defensive end, getting out in transition, and you loved the fight from the team. No matter who was out there, it was a great game for the Washington Wizards.
Jason, Denny gave you a career high 20 rebounds. Let's keep this thing going. I'm dropping some stats on you tonight, folks. Anthony Gill gives you a career high 18 points off the bench. I'm not done. Monte Morris gives you 15 points in the third. That's also a career high. And oh, by the way, as you just said, Kyle Kuzma, when the game was on the line, the only three that he hit was the one that mattered. I remember in a different sport, a player once said, great players aren't great all the time. They're just great when they have to be. And tonight was one of those moments in the absence of Bradley Beal, in the absence of the unicorn, in the absence of Gafford. Kyle's like, I got you.
Oh, my gosh. It was amazing. It was a difference between two halves.
Yeah.
You had the second quarter where they really struggled to score, but then third quarter, they were shot out of a cannon. 41 points in the third quarter alone. They had a lull in the fourth, but it didn't matter. Chicago was staying right there with them. They got hit right out of the gates in the third quarter, and they couldn't recover. There was foul trouble with Andre Drummond, but the Wizards, they never stopped fighting. They went out there, they were attacking the basket. Monte Morris was doing his thing in the third quarter. Taj Gibson steps up big time in the absence of Porzingis. You had Anthony Gill going out there. Every time he touched the ball, I was so happy for the man. The man who worked hard every day in practice.
Yes.
Not knowing if he's going to get any playing time. But he gets an opportunity, and he shines. Next man mentality, put that guy's picture right next to that.
Shout out to Anthony Gill. I'm telling you right now, AG, what a performance. But right now, we're not done giving flowers. I want to bring in Chris Miller and Drew Gooden, live from Capital One Arena, to get their thoughts on it. Gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, a couple of nights ago, there was a boxing match in Cap One Arena. But I dare say this was the fight of the season with the Wizards taking this one from the Chicago Bulls. Am I right, Drew?
Absolutely, and we knew coming into the ball game, being shorthanded, that it was going to take more than the skill and making shots tonight. It was going to take heart, grit and grind. We kept talking about that, me and Sticks, along with yourself, Wes, and this is my man right here, my counterpart. But they did exactly that, man. They stepped up in big ways. You talking about 50-50 balls tonight? I'm interested to see that number go on the Wizards' way. It was staggering. Guys bodies hitting the floor, guys that diving for loose balls. Taj Gibson setting the tone in the pick and roll sets defensively. Anthony Gill being in the right place at the right time, almost every possession on both sides of the ball. I mean, collective effort. What about DeLon Wright and Jordan Goodwin? Two of those guys being bandits, being crime stoppers, getting steals, getting out on the break. I mean, the course of the game totally changed in that third quarter, and they closed out in that fourth.
I know some Wizards players are actually in the training room and they watch the post-game show. So I want you to listen carefully, guys. I want to tip my hat to you guys for grinding this one out tonight. And I said it in the pregame show. We saw OKC do the same thing to them on Friday, and you guys responded tonight. Big time congrats to Anthony Gill, who's always ready. Taj Gibson was ready. But I want to say something to Kyle Kuzma. Kyle was extremely frustrated fouling out of the game Monday. He left, came back on the bench. This is how you respond after having a bad game. He dove on the ball for loose balls. He got scratched. Forget the game-winning shot. Everything else that he did tonight shows me that frustration, instead of letting it linger, he took it out on the Bulls tonight, and he does clutch Kuz moments down the stretch, and we'll talk about that and give him his flowers. But everything else that he did tonight, he took that frustration from Monday and he carried it over into a positive manner to help Washington win tonight.
Definitely kept his composure, CM. You talk about the last couple games not getting the calls he deserved. A lot of frustration. You saw him exit the arena after fouling out last game against the Pelicans. But tonight he responded. Was not getting the same calls in the game that he fouled out in. He responded in a major way, keeping his composure, and this is how you do it. And when big-time players perform in big-time moments, and they make big-time shots, and Kyle Kuzma did just that tonight.
Chris, with the dynamic of the guys that are missing, did the Wizards learn a lesson tonight in a new way for them to win? Because we talked about a diminished roster, but you talk about that moxie, that fight, that grit, that grind, that falling all over the court. Is this now the new standard for them as far as a load? They can't go any lower than that.
Well, I'll just look at what tonight was, and I'm just going to use that as just kind of like the benchmark moving forward. There's just no excuses. Anytime that you need to grit and grind win, you go back and look and see what you did against the Chicago Bulls. Denny Avdia, I just got this note. He's 22 years old. He's the second youngest in franchise history to grab 20 rebounds since the NBA-ABA merger. The last guy to do that was Chris Webber, November 26, 1994, against the Lakers. C. Webb was 21 at the time.
He wrote all that down, too.
I have to, guys. I told you I'm getting old. You know, I had that birthday. I can't remember like I used to. This is what I'm saying, though, about grit and grind. It doesn't have to be a sexy win and, oh, the Wizards scored first to 120. You can do what you did in the fourth quarter. Look at what the fourth quarter scoring was. It was ugly. It was 17-13. But the Wizards did enough to win the game, made defensive stops in that the third quarter. It was 41-21. So you can outscore a team, and then you can make defensive stops in the third quarter to win the ball game. So kudos to this team for a grit and grind win.
You know what? I want to add some more flowers to that. As a matter of fact, here coming up in a minute, we're going to be joined by Anthony Gill coming up here in Postgame Live. But Jason Smith, as Drew actually said, I know he had 18 points off the bench. I feel like Drew said earlier, he left a couple of points out there that he might have ended up like 23, 25.
Yeah, Anthony Gill did a great job tonight, though, but he's a true professional. He's ready in practice every day. He's going hard. He's there for whatever you need. You need a guy to go one-on-one? Hey, I'm your guy. You need a guy to go hard in practice? I'm your guy. I'm not going to get much playing time, and when I do, I'm going to be ready, though. But this guy, he's a true testament of being ready, staying ready, because he got his name called tonight. He was in the right place at the right time a lot of the time, but he was ready to go out there. His name got called. He goes out there. He performs admirably. It wasn't like he was dunking all over the place. He was flashing. He was slashing. He was getting and ones. He was finishing strong at the basket. But I think overall, this is how you want to play. You're undermanned. Look at this man. He's doing anything and everything to help his team win. But the best thing that I love about the entire team, they all got on the ground. Denny diving for balls. Taj Gibson, old and ready, diving on the floor for 50-50. DeLon Wright diving on the floor, 50-50. That tenacity. And I wanted to ask Drew and Chris this. What was the crowd like when guys were falling all over the place? They had that energy, that emotion. It was just infectious. We, at the studio, we were on the edge of our seats. What was it like there in the arena?
I'll tell you what, I mean, since before jump ball, we had the bucket hat giveaway tonight. People were already turned up off the bucket hats. You saw me, I did the pregame with the bucket hat on. And then when you got guys playing like this, your fans in the city gets behind that grit and grind, that type of play. You see in Memphis, the grindhouse. I mean, that city is built on games like this. And the success rate when guys are getting down and dirty, you're winning the 50-50 balls, and you see bodies flying in the 1-2. Yeah, it's not the right rotation, but we had 2 or 3 guys rotating the shooters, running them off, and we had 2 more guys meeting them at the rim. That's what it needed to take tonight to win, and they did just that.
I don't want to wax poetic, but fans come to these games to be entertained, right?
Yes.
They pay their hard-earned money, and they want to see you compete.
Yeah.
And I thought that sequence right there, DC fans stood up. and applauded this team for just playing hard. That's all they want to see. They want listen, if you leave it out there on the floor, I don't care what city you're in, fans are going to respect the effort. And I thought that play right now, I don't want to be a creature of the moment, but I just feel like that might be like the play of the year for the Wizards as a team. Not an individual performance, but as a team, this might be the play of the year.
I agree with you, Lord. Go ahead.
And Sticks, you played in cities where you get to the city, he's like, yo, what is a crowd like here? What are the fans like? They said they like guys that play hard. I was in Cleveland, Milwaukee, Chicago, and you could always win over the crowd and be a fan favorite if you get on the ground.
That was you and me to a T. We made careers out of that. Oh, what do they like here? They basketball city? It doesn't matter. I'm going to play hard regardless. It does not matter.
That's what it's all about. Thank you both for sharing and doing what you did, because now we get to talk about it here, and that's what it's all about. And we need to take this, bag it up, and get ready for Friday, which is the next time we will see Chris and Drew taking on the night with the Knicks. Guys, we appreciate you as always. Jason, you and I are going to keep this conversation going. I want to know who we think, we and Wizards fans at home, who the player of the game is.
Man, this is a really difficult one.
This is going to get good. Hey, look, who are options? Denny, Anthony Gill, Kyle Kuzma, and Monte Morris. All four of your options. Go to NBCSportsWashington.com/vote if you want to pull out your phone and use the QR code. Go there. Who do you want? You want to go? You want me to go
This is so
first?
difficult tonight because I love the true professional in Anthony Gill.
Yep.
But you have Kuz making the game-winning shot. You got Denny, 20
boards,
rebounds,
bro.
But you have Monte Morris, the savior in the third quarter.
Ooh, yeah.
He went out there, 17 points for the entire game. 15 in the third quarter. He skyrocketed him. He shot them out of a cannon. So, for me, my favorite, Anthony Gill. You got to give it to him.
So hard.
It's so hard. I want all of them to have it, but
You know what? I'm gonna reserve my answer until we come back from head coach Wes Unseld Jr. at the post-game podium. Here he is. I want to hear his thoughts, but trust me, I'm going to give you my answer. But first, let's listen to coach.
Just play with a little better pace. You know, got some stops. Let us get out in transition. You know, even in third, but fourth quarter, there were a lot of scrappy plays. And I thought we were just a little bit more energetic, play with a little bit more force on both ends. And it just changes the complexion of the game.
And then in the fourth, what was like trying to close out the game when you only scored 13 points in the quarter?
I mean, thankfully they only scored 17. You know, some nights, you know, it's going to be tough to, you know, score in those situations, but I felt like we got every 50-50 ball. You know, got stops when we needed them, and, you know, made play after play. Obviously, Kuz's shot, it's a heck of a shot, but to get stops, you know, when we needed them, I think was the most important thing.
Wes, was the shot that Kuz took to break the tie the shot that you expected your team to get there on that possession?
That was the play for him to come off if he had a angle to go early, be aggressive. But I told him if he didn't like it, come play pick and roll with Taj. You know, I didn't expect him to, you know, make that one, but that was the play.
To what degree does his confidence actually seem to rise in a situation like that, or at least how much does he appear to relish that kind of opportunity?
I think all players, I mean, if you're a competitor, everyone dreams of that moment. But, you know, we've seen him make those type of plays, you know, in his short tenure here. So he's going to play with a level of confidence, which I think is it's a good sign for him, you know, and we're going to put the ball in his hands in these type of situations. You don't have Brad, you don't have KP out there, so, you know, we've seen him make those plays.
Wes, in that second half, what worked so well defensively kept everybody pretty much bottled up outside of Zach?
Yeah, I thought the level of intensity was better. We were just more aggressive, you know. At times we were trying to get the ball out of Zach's hands. There were some good possessions there. There were some bad ones, but, you know, we knew he was going to be aggressive. So how could we try to limit, you know, some of the easy ones? He's a heck of a player, but we knew down the stretch they're going to go through him.
Building off of that defensive question, before the game you emphasized the importance of point of attack defense with the two bigs out, especially with rim protection. What did you like from the point of attack defense tonight?
There's some good ones, there's some bad ones. And like I said, he's very shifty, you know, and it's tough to say, hey, get up and contain the ball. The way he shoots it off the bounce is tough. You know, most defenders want to try and give you a little cushion, but he has the ability to do both, play downhill, shoot step back three at a high rate. So finding that balance, you know, of keeping him off of kind of guessing what you're doing. The next layer is being in our shrink spots, you know, and at times we were there. It was great. At times we weren't.
Coach, pregame we talked about one of those emphases. You said hustle plays, saw guys diving on the floor. Danny with 20 boards. What did you see from the hustle play tonight from the team?
Well, that was the message. You know, it just, you can't get outworked. We're already undermanned. You can't get outworked. And I thought, particularly in that second half, but throughout the game, we made plays like that, where we were able, you know, come up with those type possessions. It has nothing to do with scheme. It's got nothing to do with, you know, where guys are. It's just it's a will. And I thought we made more of those plays tonight.
And a guy we don't usually talk about, but if you watch this team, you see him clapping. The first guy up off the bench, Anthony Gill. What did you see from his night tonight as well?
It was terrific, you know, from start to finish, you know, and I give him a lot of credit because he's a guy that does everything right, you know, practice, walkthroughs. He's always the guy up encouraging his teammates, and it's like karma, comes full circle. And he goes out, performs, plays exceptionally well, makes big plays, and winds up winning the belt.
Coach Wes Unseld Jr. giving flowers to our guest of honor for the night, a guy who I consider the salt of the earth, just a great teammate. Anthony Gill courtside with our very own Megan McPeak. Megan, take it away before I end up just fawning for the rest of the evening.
Wes, you say great teammate. I'd just say, period, great human when it comes to Anthony Gill. But, AG, I want to go back to the conversation that we had on Monday night. And you said a few things, but mainly was, for me, that stuck out was the fact that you want your teammates to succeed more than you want yourself to succeed. I think after your performance tonight, they are probably saying the same thing about yourself. Walk me through again how you just maintain your positive attitude and staying ready until your number is called.
Yeah, so for me, it's like I told you before, I love each and every one of those guys. So when they're out there on the court doing their thing, you know, I'm so happy for them. You know, those guys work so hard, extremely hard, so talented. They have a lot going on, a lot on their shoulders that most people don't understand, you know, goes into the NBA player lifestyle. But, you know, I'm so proud of those guys every single time they step on the court. And for me to, you know, have an okay game today and then those guys, like, I see them on the bench cheering for me, it really made me happy.
Hold on. 18 points on 7-11 shooting, not to mention 2 of 4 from the three-point line, and then 5 of 3 from the free throw line. You also add in 4 rebounds, and that's an okay game for you?
That's not important. Did you see that Denny Avdia had 20 rebounds tonight? That was awesome, and I'm so proud of him for that.
No, but in all honesty, like, you just continue to maintain a positive attitude. And I have said this from the moment I met you when you first got here, that your positive attitude, it trickles down throughout not just the team and the coaching staff, but in my opinion, the organization. And that is not easy to do. And yet you do it on a consistent daily basis. And as you heard from Coach, just talking about the fact that karma essentially came full circle for you tonight because you are always first off the bench. You're there. Like, I remember in Milwaukee, Brad unfortunately goes down with the injury, and you go outside of yourself to stand beside him to make sure he's good. Just talk about what that means to you when you then have your teammates reciprocate it for you.
Yeah, it feels great, you know, and for me, first and foremost, I want to care so much for these guys. That's all I really care about. I represent my family when I go on the court. I represent my faith. I represent the city of D.C. I represent where I came from. And, you know, this city here in D.C., they deserve a lot, you know, and they've been through a lot of years of tough years, you know, so the least I can do is just go out there and play my hardest, give everything I have for the team, the city, and my family.
Sticks has got a question for you in studio.
Anthony Gill, I like to call you Jason Smith 2.0. Always cheering your teammates on, always encouraging guys, whether it be practice in the game. But tonight, you know that you're going to get minutes. There's a very, very high likelihood that you're going to get a lot of minutes with no Porzingis, no Gafford. How do you prepare yourself from going from, I don't know if I'm going to play, to getting a ton of minutes, having a career night? And how do you bottle this up moving forward?
The answer is you can't really prepare for it on the day of the game. You know, I didn't find out that those guys were going to be out until, 90 minutes on the clock. So, you know, it's not like I can just, you know, wake up in the morning and know that I'm going to play a lot of minutes. It's one of those things where you have to put in, you know, days and hours and everything of work and preparation for the time like this. And, you know, I love to see my guys on the court performing. I would much rather them be on the court than me. But when I do have that opportunity, I just want to give them everything I have.
Anthony, this is, well, ever humble as you always are, but when you go off for a career-high points, you get the floor. So I'm going to ask you right now to give a shout-out to whoever you want to, because you've earned this moment. The flowers and floor is yours, sir.
I want to give a shout-out to my wife, Jenna Gill. She's a superstar. She keeps our family stable at home. She keeps me stable. She allows me to go out here every single night and do what I do and keep our 3 kids at home safe, so I really appreciate her.
Look at you, Anthony Gill. Always, I'm taking notes, brother. I'm taking notes, my friend. I appreciate it as always. Continue to have a safe night. We'll see you Friday against the Knicks.
Thanks, guys, for having me. I appreciate it.
Always, always. Look at that, Anthony Gill, man. Salt of the earth, cool teammate. That's what it's all about. But coming up on the other side of the break, we've got more post-game live, including the one-on-one with Kyle Kuzma, including the best plays of the season from Kyle Kuzma. Could tonight's buzzer beater be a part of it? Welcome back to Wizards post-game live after a 100-97 victory over the Chicago Bulls. And if you think that Monte Morris isn't a crucial part of that victory, you would be remiss. 17 points total, 15 of them in the third quarter alone to help the Wizards have a 41-21 third quarter. Dare I say the best third quarter or quarter period for the Wizards this season. Jason Smith, when we talk about Monte Morris, we knew that the team was shorthanded. We've talked about turnovers and ball security, but he gave you 17 points tonight. I think Monte Morris has found his stride. Remember he was telling you about October, November, what his jam?
Yeah.
But once he got to December and on, it was all good. I think we're in that territory now.
You know, I was a little concerned with the Wizards' performance in the first half. He only had 2 points.
Yeah.
Third quarter comes along. Wow. This man put the team on his back from the jump. And as an analyst, you're sitting there watching the game, the entire game. You're like, oh, man, 13 points at half. This could be, it's just not the Wizards' night. They're undermanned. They got a lot of injuries. But that third quarter, I was sitting kind of on the back of my seat, and I slowly perked up, little by little. Okay, they cut it to 10. They cut it to 7. Cut it to 5. They tied the game. I was like, oh my gosh, who is leading the charge? And it was this man right here. He was getting the job done. It's not like he was knocking down 3 after 3 after 3. There's no 13-point play in the NBA. This man took it upon himself, chipping away, and the joy that they played with. They were excited. The crowd was behind them. They were getting on the floor for loose balls. But that man right there led the charge in the third quarter. A 41-point third quarter performance by the Wizards led by Monte Morris. That's a leader recognizing that you're a man down. You need some help. Kuzma needs some help. He took it upon himself and got the job done in the third quarter.
What's the old saying? I think Glenn Consor says it all the time. It's KYP, know your personnel.
Oh, yeah.
Monte Morris is like, not only I know my personnel, I'm going to know how to set them up to be successful. And that's why you have the voting that you have in front of you for the player of the game. Matter of fact, let's bring in Meg McPeak and keep this conversation going. We're talking about player of the game, whether it's Denny, AG, Monte Morris, or, of course, Clutch Kuz. But, Megan, what do you think about Monte's performance tonight, as Jason just wonderfully broke down for us?
What did I say to you guys before the game about Monte Morris and bouncing back? Only
True.
1 turnover as well.
True.
And Monte Morris bounced back in a lot of different ways. It wasn't just like, I'm going to give him his flowers because of what he did offensively, but let's also talk about what he did defensively, because he was getting into the Bulls defensively. And you don't typically talk about Monte Morris when it comes to his defense, but he took it upon himself to join the duo of a Jordan Goodwin and a DeLon Wright and add another defender in that conversation from the point guard standpoint. So I got to give him his flowers in that. But the way that he led the charge in that third quarter, because we have talked about it throughout this season, that third quarters coming out of the locker room for whatever reason can sometimes be the Achilles heel of this Wizards team. That third quarter was phenomenal for them. They got into the body. They got into the shorts of the Chicago Bulls, and it was led by Monte Morris. They started to frustrate them. At the end of the day, in the way that they have been playing as of late, sometimes, as I said in pregame, you have to do to teams what they are doing to you and take them out of their own game. And they did that to this Bulls team, because the first half, the Bulls were getting into them. They were using the physicality. In the second half, especially that third quarter, you saw the Wizards take it right back at them in the third quarter, and it started with the head of the snake in their point guard in Monte Morris.
2 things I think about. A, I genuinely want to know what was said at halftime. To do what we saw, I need to know what was said at halftime to make that adjustment. That's 1. 2, when it comes to Monte Morris, we know there are vocal leaders to the team, Jason. He doesn't talk a lot.
No.
He's not a talker. He does when we talk to him, but as far as like being rather animated, that's not his thing. But he does it with his game. That's the third quarter that you want from a guy like that.
That man went out there, he had a cross-up like you wouldn't believe. He went behind the back and left his defender in the dust, rose up for a nice little 2-point shot. He is a guy who doesn't go out there and lead vocally, but by his actions on the floor. And that's what you love about a point guard. I had a point guard like that, Andre Miller. He didn't say 2 words, but when he was out there, he led by his actions. He was getting people open shot opportunities. He was rocking in the pick and roll, and that's exactly what this guy does. Everybody says, oh, he's undersized. He can't play out there. This man plays with so much heart and aggression, and you saw that in the third quarter. He did his job tonight. He had a little bit of a slow first half, but everybody had a slow first half. That third quarter skyrocketed the Wizards to a Wizards win on their home floor.
I just love that everybody never lost their composure, never stopped thinking we can do this. And it comes back to leadership, both vocally and on the court with your game. But guys, we're not going to move, because when it was all said and done, third quarter was not the end of the game. It came down to the end of the game, and that's when this guy took over with a jump shot right in the face of another guy who he actually used to play with, Alex Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma in the clutch. Clutch Kuz. We're going to talk about him on the other side when Wizards Post-Game Live returns. Welcome back to Wizards Post-Game Live. The final score was 100-97, and it all came down to this shot right here from Kyle Kuzma with the game on the line in front of the home team and the bench. Nothing but net. I'll take that, Kyle Kuzma. Way to get the job done. And speaking of which, I actually had a chance to speak with him earlier this week about a variety of things, but most importantly, how to balance individual success with team success.
Feed to Kuz. Oh, beautiful step through by Kyle Kuzma. Hey, 5 on the shot clock for Kuz. Step back, long distance 3, and he hits. Kyle Kuzma.
You have an extremely high basketball IQ. When you're on the court, is there a balance between the player Kuz, the kind of coach knowing the game Kuz? Like, who's driving the ship at that time when you're out there?
It's always me. I feel like, you know, I'm just trying to read the game and read it as best as possible. Always trying to control what I can control. And, I mean, it's always kind of me versus me. I feel like, you know, being out there, teams regard me a certain type of way, and I have to counter that, and also try to figure out how to put my teammates in the right spots on the floor to help them out as well. And, you know, maybe a lot to juggle, but it's really not. You know, it's just basketball at the end of the day, so.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Out to Kuzma. Kuzma, baseline jam.
Remember you and I sat down at the beginning of the season and I asked you for a bold prediction.
Yeah.
And you gave me 2 words.
Mm-hmm.
And right now you're sitting well within the confines of possibly getting your All-Star nod.
Yeah.
What was your first reaction when you saw those votes come in?
I mean, just blessed, you know, being able to, you know, people see how much work I put in my career to continue to get better. You know, being a popular player in this league and people, you know, just having fans. I think that's the really first thing. People even, you know, take the time out of their day just to go on the NBA app and just to click my name and vote. I mean, it's pretty special. And yeah, I mean, I'm just a kid from Flint. Just a kid from Flint, Michigan.
So now we're at our halfway checkpoint. Let's look towards the end of the season. Obviously, everyone wants to have postseason aspirations. That's the team goal.
Yeah.
What's the latter half of the season, Kyle Kuzma goal?
I just need to keep developing who I am as a player, as a person. That's always my biggest thing. You know, my journey as a basketball player has taken me, you know, I was very low to highs to lows, and you know, my thing is how can I get better every single day? You know, the way I approach the game, the way I think the game, the way I'm prepared every night, the way I'm available every night. You know, I'm just trying to just do better and do more of it.
Well, with that in mind, let's look back at the top plays of the season for Kyle Kuzma thus far in Brooklyn, turning defense to offense, Jason Smith.
And you know, a lot of the guys on the team, they were getting into foul trouble because KD brings that ball up kind of on the side of him. Kyle Kuzma is a guy who watches film. He realizes, hey, KD, he doesn't bring it up the normal way. I know exactly where he's going to do it, and I'm going to take it in transition, and I'm going to flush it with a nice dunk.
I love that people back down, but not Kuz. How about late against the Clippers, trying to decide, do I shoot it, do I not? Coach said, okay, all right, let it fly.
He was so indecisive on this play, but he was like, come on, guys, let's move. Come on. And he was looking at Coach. He said, Coach, can I shoot it? Can I shoot it?
Yeah.
He lets it fly. And the sheer joy he gets from it, he's like, come on, guys. Hey, Coach, can I let this one go? And the smile after he makes this thing, he's like, well, I shot it, I made it.
Absolutely love the energy. How about this one? He had a season high, 36 points against the Mavs. And you see the tough bucket right there.
The ability to catch it on the perimeter, keep it between defenders, the body control after taking contact at the rim. This is what makes Kyle Kuzma so rare. He has a launching pad from the perimeter. Doesn't matter if you have rule of verticality out there, he's gonna get to the rim and finish it with an and one. And look at that.
That's how you finish tonight.
There.
That's how you finish tonight. I'm saying you play that way, you look that good. How about this? Against the Kings, talk about childhood friends. How about adult besties going up with the oop from Monte?
He said, I'm just a kid from Flint, Michigan. Well, there's 2 kids from Flint, Michigan right there. Besties from 4th grade and on, playing at the professional level. He got a nice little poster right there. But you love the joy after he dunks this thing. The sheer joy between the two. Yeah, we in 4th grade, yeah, baby.
That's what it's all about. Well, how about this? Taking on the Pelicans. Kyle doing work down low, decides to go up and under. Woo,
this is another facet of his game, is that he realized the defense is coming from the top. He doesn't bury himself on the baseline. He gives him room and an opportunity to drive to the basket. And a little detail right here about Kyle, when he goes up, the little tongue, the Jordan tongue. Ah! Yeah, that's a good bucket right there.
I love it, I love it. But that was before tonight, so I want to bring in Megan McPeak and run through it about tonight's play. Oh, we're not done giving this man his flowers tonight. Hey, Megan, what about that last shot for the end of the game? You down for that one?
Let's go.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's take a look at that last play, because I have to. Tied up 97 all right here at the end with 11 seconds going. Kyle's got the ball in the right flex, and you see him take the step, let it fly. Ball game, let's go home.
Listen, it's the footwork for me. Not only the awareness of where he is on the floor, but the know-withal to make sure his toe is behind the line, because you then put the Bulls in a position. You don't need 2, you need 3 to even send this thing to overtime. Kyle Kuzma knows where he is at all times, 10 toes down. Give me the bucket.
I love that. You know what's so crazy about it? Earlier in the game, there was a shot by Zach LaVine where we were sitting here watching this, Jason, and Zach turned around and basically didn't look at the rim until he was actually elevating. And it's so funny that Kyle basically did the same thing with the game on the line from the corner. It's like, anything you can do, I can do better tonight. You're on my home court, and we're not losing this game, Jason.
The fact that he made that shot.
Yeah.
The comeback that the Wizards did on their home floor. They've been struggling. They're undermanned. They don't have their Twin Towers out there. Kyle Kuzma, the only 3 that he makes in the game is the game winner. You had an amazing third quarter, 41 points. That 4th quarter, they were sputtering to the end, but guess what? Doesn't matter. They got the dub. Denny, 20 rebounds. Anthony Gill, 18 points. Kyle Kuzma, game winner, clutch 3. I'm interested to see who wins the most valuable player of the game in that little vote that we had going on.
Let's see if we can juice the scale right now. Megan, we just ran through the replay on the play. Kyle Kuzma, in that moment, we've almost become spoiled with clutch Kuz, and I'm not going to be done because I want more of it. Is that fair?
I think it's fair, but at the end of the day, like the way that he set that up, and you heard him break it down for me in the walk-off. You also, this is similar to, you think of Christian Laettner pass to Grant Hill. If Taj does not set that screen at the right moment, at the right angle, and Sticks knows how important angle is for screening and timing as well too, Kuz might not get that shot off. He might not have the opportunity to get his feet set to be able to rise up and let that thing fly. But also give him credit, because he let that go with, I think it was like 5.7 on the clock, which is a lot of time for a Zach LaVine to make something happen. But it also was the wherewithal to leave time on the floor, on the clock, in case that shot didn't go in, to give your rebounders a chance for second chance opportunities. That is all going through his mind within seconds of each other to make sure that he can get that shot to fall.
Megan McPeak, I must say thank you for that nugget. I completely forgot about leaving pad just in case it doesn't fall, because Chicago didn't have any more timeouts. That's what I love, strategy. That's what this is all about. But we know that Kyle Kuzma is not, we're not the only one giving flowers. Speaking of giving things, well, guess what's happening on Friday? You're going to love this.
Oh,
We're giving it
look
away.
at that bobblehead.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. The Kyle Kuzma pink sweater bobblehead is happening for the first 10,000 fans at Cap One Arena Friday night ahead of the Knicks game. It's a 7 o'clock tip. Pre-game's going to be here at 6:30. So use that QR code on your screen. to make sure you are there. This is limited edition. Please don't hit me up personally. Again, you need to go to the game for this. But right now, let's take a look at our FanDuel best bets of the night. And if you look back at this one, you're going to smile like I am right now, because the money line had the over and under. Wizards win under 229.5, so that's plus 250. A $10 bet would have won you $25. And Monte Morris with the first bucket, it was plus 1,000, pulling you behind the curtain.
Man!
We usually talk about the first bucket before every show. But here's something that you have to consider. All of these things happen in the absence of Daniel Gafford and Kristaps Porzingis. The big guys not there inside, and we knew it was going to be a challenging matchup. But Jason, this team held down the paint. They did not allow access for anybody who just wanted to come inside tonight.
They got the job done. The game was actually very close until the end of the second quarter. They were hanging with the Bulls. Then you have the third quarter. I don't know what was said in that halftime locker room, but man, did they shoot out of the can. I know I said it multiple times, but they had this aggression about them on the offensive end, led by Monte Morris. They got the job done, especially in that third quarter. And if they don't have a third quarter like that, they may not win the game.
Megan. The bigs weren't there, and yet, you know, we were all rightfully concerned. But yet this team, like Jason said, found a way to deliver. And I think it caught Chicago off guard because they might have anticipated, oh, they're missing the big guys.
They're going to lay
Brad's
down. They're going to give us this win. No, we're not.
I mean, this is the thing. It's as cliche as it is next man up in this situation. Like, you have to be ready to play. And that is why a lot of credit goes to Denny Avdia for what he was able to do offensively. Didn't necessarily have it going, but it was the fact that he was crashing the glass, and it seemed like his hands had magnets in them. Then you also have to credit Anthony Gill, who was ready when his number was called. Another guy, Jordan Goodwin. Had been playing sparse minutes, was ready when his number was called, came up with some big plays. Him and DeLon playing on the floor together was a defensive nightmare for the perimeter guys on the Chicago Bulls, because you might have got by one of them, but the other one was there to take your cookies. Like, it was insane what they were able to do, but it was the fact that they knew they were undermanned and had a next man up mentality, because at the end of the day, there was still no DeMar DeRozan on the other end. So the Bulls were undermanned, but they still had their guy in Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic. So you still have two of your big three. The Wizards didn't have any except for Kyle Kuzma, and everybody rose to the occasion and stepped up their game tonight. It was necessary. Sometimes it's not always pretty.
That's right. You just have to get it done. At the end, the final score is all that matters. However you get there with the double on your side. Megan, we appreciate it as always. We're not done. We got plenty of show left. But I want to remind people right now, new customers can get $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. You can download the FanDuel app right now and start making every moment more. We've spoken about Anthony Gill. We're going to talk about him some more, but this time we're going to do it in the film room with Jason, so don't move. Welcome back to Wizards Post Game Live. All smiles over here after a big game, but we got to take a look back at our bold predictions brought to you by Greenberg and Betterman. Remember to go to gblawyers.com and feel better. We said the Wizards are going to have more threes than the Bulls tonight. Just missed it.
It was looking ugly at halftime, but they came back and they made it a game. But I don't care.
It's all good.
Wiz
Again,
won.
Greenberg and Betterman, gblawyers.com. Let's go to the film room, Jason, because I know we care about that. Hey, Anthony Gill showing out. Let's go.
Anthony Gill, the true professional. He did anything and everything. This man doesn't get any plays run for him, but he's in the right place at the right time. Being available for your teammates and helping them out in a pinch. The defense collapsed, then he gives it up to Anthony Gill. Okay, Anthony Gill, he makes the right plays. Pick and roll, he's the five-man out there. He's got to dive. Defense collapses, he makes the right pass, getting it to good. And guess what? He moves without the ball. Vucevic is like, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Yep, fell over my feet. A layup. Again, right place, right time. But also, he's got some offensive skill on the perimeter. He knows he's not going to shoot the three. Give the big man who wants to block the shot, who's in foul trouble, a shot fake. Drive the middle of the lane. Show your athleticism. I was jumping up and down. I thought he was going to slam or jam it, but he did not. He did a nice little layup. He was classy. He was a professional out there. But this man got his name called. He rose to the occasion. 18 points off the bench. No Porzingis, no Gafford. No problem. We got Anthony Gill.
You talk about AG rising to the occasion. How about Kyle Kuzma rising over and Caruso and knocking down?
Buckets!
That's what it's all about. And here he is at the post-game podium.
Yeah, I was just trying to, give myself the best chance to make a play. I caught the ball. I looked left, and a lot of teams were forcing me left, so I just had DeLon just kind of get flat a little bit. So I knew I had Caruso on me, and he's one of the better defenders in the league. So just giving myself a chance to go pick either way instead of just being directed in one. Taj came up. I was trying to get downhill at first, but I noticed that he was up at the level a little bit, and it probably would have been hard to get through. Probably no call again. So, you know, I just threw the ball to an open spot on the floor and just rose up and shot it and went in.
What flipped in that third quarter? Or what changed so much for you guys in that third quarter?
We just got stops. I think that was the biggest thing. Played within ourselves. I think it was a couple plays. I don't know if it was early in the fourth or in that third. We had Goody in with DeLon, and they were causing havoc, making some big-time plays. Goody came in, hit 2 big threes for us that really gave us like a 6 or 7 point lead at one point. It was huge. And Anthony Gill did a phenomenal job playing well. You know, ultimate professional, never plays, got in, scored 18. Really showed our bigs how to, you know, front other bigs, and did a phenomenal job.
What's up, Coach? You kind of beat me to that, but want to kind of touch back on Anthony Gill.
Yeah.
How is it having a vet like that? Well, I told him he's his character. First one to clap for you, first one to get off the ground, pick a team up. How is it having a guy like that in the locker room?
I mean, he's probably the most wholesome person I ever met in my life. Barely says a cuss word. Comes in every day. If we ever practice, he's probably there at 7:30 or 8. He's up more than us because he does have multiple kids. So I'm not calling him Kobe Bryant coming to the gym, but yeah, he's a rare person, and I'm very, very happy for him. Phenomenal teammate.
And as you know, scoring is one of the key components of basketball, but it's also the intangibles. Had a lot of hustle plays tonight. What did you see from that aspect of the team as well?
Yeah, we had hustle plays down the stretch. I think the one play where we had multiple guys diving on the loose balls with 32, 33 seconds left, that was a huge play for us because it could have been easy for them to get a better shot off, but, you know, we stuck with it, played with the 50-50 balls, really allowed, you know, 1 second on the shot clock. Levine hit a tough shot, but just down the stretch, you know, just making key little intangible plays really, really helped us. Yeah, it was great.
Kyle Kuzma at the post-game podium. Well, guess what? Next game is Friday night. We'll be here at 6:30 for pregame live, getting you ready for the Knicks. So stay put, because on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about those boys in New York. Yes, we did.
Two former Lakers going one-on-one. Here's Kuzma off the screen. Kuzma fade away. Oh, he hit it! Kyle Kuzma with 5.7 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter hits a huge three to put the Wizards up 100-97. Clutch Kuz activated.
As time winds down, the basket gets bigger and bigger for Kuzma.
Absolutely great call from Christian Drew. I want to close out the live vote tonight. Who are the people, the player of the game? Denny Abdi has got that one, so well played on everyone. But before we talk about these Knicks real quick, matter of fact, we're going to do it now. Megan, the Knicks, they beat the Pacers tonight. Real quick, one thing the Wizards have to do to get a win on Friday.
Don't turn the ball over.
Facts.
Plain and simple. Clean it back up. Clean it back up. Tonight was still too many for me.
Sticks real quick. What you got?
Jalen Brunson, he's a problem. They had Zach LaVine tonight. Got to stop him heading into Friday.
There we go. That's prescription, how to get it done. 6:30 on Friday. We want you back here for Wizards pregame live ahead of the Knicks game. If you're going to the stadium, first 10,000 get that Kyle Kuzma pink sweater bobblehead. Either way it goes, you're going to be hanging out with us at NBC Sports Washington. For our great crew and staff, for Megan, Jason, I'm Wes Hall. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you Friday at 6:30.